Everybody says, who does he think he is? I just told you who I thought I was. A God.
You gonna learn today.
I just told you. That's who I think
You
I
gonna
am.
learn today.
Nobody pray for me. It been that day for me. Yeah, be humble. Be humble. Be humble. Sit down.
Hey, what up? It's your boy Brandon Hosey, and this is the Be Humble Podcast, episode number 6. And today we're gonna be talking about money. You know, everybody loves money. You know, some people hate money, but you know, it's a part of life, and it's something that we don't talk about. You know, a lot of people are afraid to talk about it, but we gonna talk about it. So let's go. Okay, so like I said, you know, we're going to talk about money today and a lot of things in regards to money. It is a touchy, you know, topic or subject for a lot of people because, you know, a lot of people are, you know, going through things, and some people just don't feel comfortable talking about money, and they just don't want to talk about money for whatever reason. But like I said, we're going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about my philosophy when it comes to money, how I am, you know, in my opinion, the quickest ways to go broke, and you know, ways to save money that maybe, you know, it's things that you're already doing, or maybe it's some things that, you know, you can start doing. But I'm here to talk about it. You know, I know this is almost a one-way, you know, conversation, but you know, I'm just here for advice and give my opinion. You can always leave me a message on any platform. But let's go. Okay, so first things first. You know, my thing is. You know, my philosophy when it comes to money is like, if you to live at your means, you know, means to live check to check. So like, if you make $500 a week and you spend $500 a week, then you're gonna be living check to check. I mean, it's, you know, common sense, basic math. Same thing, like if you live above your means, then you're gonna be broke or you're gonna be in debt. Simple. If you only make $500 a week, but you spending $600 a week, then guess what? You're gonna be broke and you're gonna be in debt. And if you live below your means, you will always have money and you will always be able to save money. So if you make $500 a week, but you only spend $400 a week, then guess what? You can save or spend, you know, well, save, you know, $100. So that can add up over time. But a lot of people don't even, you know, really think about this philosophy. They just, you know, they just live without even thinking about money. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people budget, some people don't. Some people just check the check, and they don't even try to fix it or change it, you know, to put them in a position where they can be ahead and be able to save money. Like, I've been there before. You know, I know sometimes, you know, it just don't work out when it comes to saving money. But there's always a way. I feel like if you serious about it, and if you really want to save money, if you tired of being check to check, there's a way out. There's a way that you can save money, but you just got to be smart about it. Um, so first things first, let's look at some of the ways that some of the quickest ways that people go broke. And this is my opinion. You know, one of the first things on my list is just being reckless with credit cards. And some people, you know, a lot of us already been through it, or you know, maybe you haven't. If you haven't, you're pretty lucky. But you know, this is just something they don't talk about in high school, whatever. But credit cards is major, especially when you're young. You get that first credit card for like $500, and what you do, you go buy clothes, you know, shoes. You might use it to buy something to eat every now and then, and that adds up, you know. And maybe you pay the bill, maybe you don't, but you know, eventually you might get another credit card and another credit card, and all it takes is for you to not pay it, and your credit is messed up. You know, that's something that you don't really think about when you're young, but it definitely affects you when you older. You know, when it's time to you know, buy a car, buy a house, all these things that people talk about. You know, I know, like, you know, our elders talk about, you hear this thing, like these things like every day, but still people go down that same path. So it's just something important to talk about, you know, to your children, you know, and just have that serious conversation, because people talk about it, you know, you hear about it, but not a lot of people actually talk about it and talk through it, and I think that's what's missing. The second thing on my list is just being too materialistic, which just kind of common sense to me. Like if you one of those people that you just gotta have the best everything, then guess what? You're gonna be broke. If you're one of those people that you just gotta have all the name brands, then guess what? You're gonna be broke. It's gonna happen, guaranteed. Unless you're already rich and you got money, but still, even those people, that's how they go rich. That's one of the ways. So you don't always have to have the best thing. Sometimes you can settle for that thing that's in the middle. So if there's say there's something that you want, and it could be like, I don't know, some headphones. One pair of headphones is $500. Then you got the mid-range headphones. It's like $200. Then you have like a $50 pair of headphones. At that point, man, you just gotta go by quality. You gotta read reviews and see what's best, because I can almost guarantee you that $500 pair of headphones is not worth $500. Probably not even close. It's probably the equivalent of the $200 pair of headphones, and that's almost guaranteed. So you just gotta be smart, and you don't have to have the best everything, and that comes to cars, the house that you rent or buy. I mean, it's just unnecessary. That stuff really, it don't matter at the end of the day. I mean, yes, it's good to have nice things, but you can still have nice things that's good quality, but don't cost, that's not overpriced. I think for some people it's like a disease to want the best this, the best that, but trust me, none of that really matters. I mean, it don't at the end of the day. Number 3 on my list, this may make a lot of people salty, or some people might feel some type of way about me saying this, but I want to say dating. For me as a guy, I'm the type of guy, and it's probably not like this for everybody, but I'm the type of guy, if I'm dating somebody, I want to go on actual dates. I want to take that person out. I want to do things, and that costs money. I believe that the guy should pay most of the time. I mean, not all the time. It's good to have a woman that, like, I got it every now and then, but sometimes, for the most part, I'm the type of guy that pays. I take care of that. I take care of the woman that I'm with, and that adds up. So definitely dating, I mean, that costs money. It just adds up. The 4th thing on my list is student loans, which we can do a whole podcast on that, but I think it's getting to the point where student loans is just outrageous. It's out of control, and I believe within the next 5 or 10 years that there's going to be some type of crisis surrounding student loans, like almost guaranteed, because it just costs way too much. Then people, they get the loans, they get the degrees, they can't find jobs, they quit paying on the student loan, and it's just, a massive amount of debt. It's almost guaranteed that the student loan debt is in the trillions, like guaranteed. That's how big of a problem it is. And the last thing on my list is just people being too generous, and most people don't have to deal with this. I don't think that most people don't have it to give, but if you just doing too much for people, you helping people out too much. It could be a boyfriend, it could be a girlfriend, it could be anybody, a family member. But guess what? You're gonna end up going broke if that's where all of your money going to. Like, it's good to help people, it's good to give back and all of that, but you have to be smart with it and only give what you can truly afford to give, because if not, then you're gonna go broke. That's exactly how a lot of these celebrities and athletes and people that hit the lottery go broke, is through their family members and friends and all of that. The second that your family and your friends find out that you got money, it's gonna be people like coming out the woodwork that ask you for money. Even people that's close to you already. I mean, some people won't, not everybody. Like, I'm not the type of person, like, if one of my family members got rich, I would not ask them for a dime. But there's some people out there that would ask in a heartbeat for money, and that's the way a lot of people go broke, just by being too generous and helping out too much. So that's that. That's my top 5 quickest ways to go broke. So now let's flip it and talk about ways to save, smart ways to save money and to get back on track and, be able to have money to enjoy yourself and not worry about it, not worry about being check to check and all of that. So let's get into that. First things first, I just think that you just gotta learn to respect money. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some people that's so reckless with their money. They spend it as if, as if they're always going to have money, but that's not the case. You don't know what the future beholds, so you just have to be smart with your money and respect money. You know what I'm saying? Like, spending on stupid things, I mean, it's just not going to add up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see these rappers, they buy like jewelry and the cars and stuff, like, and yeah, you can sell those things back, for a fraction of the price, but at the end of the day, you losing so much money on those things like clothes, all those things. It don't really add up to its value. It's all about value, and those things just don't add up. They're almost worthless. Like I said, some things you can sell back for a fraction of the price, but you still losing money over time. And the bigger the item, the more money that you're losing. And that's something that people just don't think about. Some people just reckless with money. So you just gotta be smarter with money and just start respecting it more. Another thing is just buying. Some of this stuff is common sense, but I'm gonna say it anyway. It's common sense to me. But just buying stuff online, it's almost guaranteed. If you buy something online, it's gonna be cheaper. It's like guaranteed. No matter what it is, it's gonna be cheaper online. So always check online when you're gonna buy something. A lot of people, they just have this mentality that they just want it now or they need it now, but why not save money by waiting to have it shipped or whatever, and pay 30% less or whatever. So just be smart with it. Let's see. I just want to give y'all a couple sites that I use that have saved me lots of money. Some people know about some of these, some people don't. This is just resources. So number one is eBay. eBay been around forever, but you're gonna save so much money shopping on eBay. I think Amazon too, but if you're gonna buy anything that's worth anything, that's like any type of big purchase or a medium purchase or whatever, I suggest like eBay is gonna save you money no matter what you get. So always check eBay or online stores before you buy it in stores. For people that wear contacts, always get your contacts online. Do not get them while you at the eye doctor, because they're gonna charge you double the amount that you can get them for online. This is guaranteed. All you need is your prescription. So when you go to your doctors, unless you have insurance and you're getting it for free or something, but even if you don't have insurance, just pay to get your your prescription. Then once you have that, you can shop around online and get your contacts for as low as like $100 for like 2 boxes. That's gonna last you a whole year. Like, if you go to the eye doctor, it's gonna cost you like $300, for 6 months or whatever. So always get your contacts online. Like I said, everything online is cheaper. For my next thing is it's called Your Mechanic. So if you have car problems, you need something fixed, is this site and app. It's called Your Mechanic. All you have to do is download the app, put in your location, put in what you want fixed, and they'll give you a quote for it. And guess what? It's going to be like 30-40% cheaper than what the dealership would charge you. So if the dealership would normally charge you $500, guess what? With Your Mechanic, it's only going to be like $250, like guaranteed. Like, it's like, why not? With this service, the mechanic will come to your house or your business, whatever. The only thing you need to have is a space that's suitable for them to fix your vehicle, whatever wrong with it. So if you have a private parking spot, a garage, your driveway, Trust me, it's a good service. I've used them twice and it was flawless, perfect, and I saved a lot of money. So that's one thing. Another thing is like thrift shops. So like for clothes or basic things like basic shirts like t-shirts and stuff, you can, if you go to the Goodwill, I guarantee you can find new shirts that nobody have ever worn, or they look like nobody have ever worn for like a couple dollars. Like it's crazy. So instead of going to Target or Ross or any of these other clothing stores, if you're a female, these clothing stores charge a lot. But if you go to like the Goodwill or somewhere, like you can find like almost new stuff for very, very cheap. That's something for those that have that high maintenance mentality. They overlook that, but they're the ones that's paying for it. Let's see, what else do I got for you guys? Oh, for those that are low income, there's so many services out here to help you, but you have to actually look for it. You can get money off your internet, you can get money off your phone bill, your electric. You can be saving so much per year, but you have to search for it. So it's assistance out here for people that's struggling, that's on the struggle. Anyways, that's it for that. My ways to save. Some of it you already know. Some of it I might have enlightened you. But now I'm going to talk about, I'm going to finish off the podcast by talking about the stock market and an app called Robinhood. This is another thing that they don't teach you in school. I don't know if they teach you today. I doubt it. The stock market, everybody hears, rich people talking about it. They talk about it on the news, but a lot of people just ignore it. But I'm going to tell you right now, you have to be a fool after this podcast. If you don't download this app, if you don't start investing in stocks, then you are a fool, because it's easy money. It's legit money. It's not quick money. I mean, there's ways to make it quick, but this is legit. It's real. This is how the rich get richer. And I'm about to help you guys out by telling you a little bit more about it. So once again, this is a topic that I could probably make a whole podcast on, but we're going to talk about the stock market and Robinhood. So usually to invest in stock, you will have to go to some type of investment firm and open up an account, and they charge you every time you buy or sell a stock, which it adds up. It's a small fee, but it adds up, and you just don't want to do that. It's going to take away from any profit that you get. So what you want to do is you want to go into the Google Play or the iTunes Store, whatever they call it on iPhone. You want to download this app called Robinhood, and I'm going to place I actually have an invite code that I'm going to put in the link. If you guys could use that, I appreciate it. They'll give me a free stock, and they'll give you a free stock for using it. So with the stock market, you have lots of different stock options, and they all are different prices. So all of these businesses, Amazon, Walmart, Best Buy, Target, Starbucks, and everything in between, these companies that you never ever heard of, for every category you can think of, gas, pharmaceuticals, electric companies, tech companies, stores, like everything, they have it. So the first thing you want to do is look around and find a stock that you want to invest in. There's so many different stock lists that tell you like what they about. There's categories that you can search through. There's like, for instance, there's like a top 100, and on that list it tells you like the most traded stocks, which on that list is things like Amazon, Apple, Walmart, Google, all of those apps. So when you invest in a stock, I'm just going to give you guys examples so you can have a clearer picture. And that, like I said, after this, there's no reason you should not invest or not want to invest. Okay, so there's two ways to trade, and you can do a long-term trade, or two ways to invest, I should say. So you can do a long-term investment or a short-term investment. The long-term investment is what it sounds like. It's long-term. And the short-term investment is extremely short. It's called day trading. So I'm going to go through the first one real quick. It's real simple and real easy. So for instance, Amazon stock is, I believe, the highest stock right now, which to buy one stock of Amazon right now, it's over $1,900, so it's almost at $2,000. Last year, that stock was at $900 something. So to give you an example of how the rich get richer and people that invest in the stock market gets richer, last year that stock was $900 something. This year that stock is pretty much $2,000. So if you invested a year ago, only 12 months ago, guess what? You would already have $1,100 of money that you didn't have to work for or anything. That money worked for you. And during the year, that stock price is going to go up, it's going to go down a little bit, it's going to go up a little bit, go down a little bit. But the thing is, you have to stick with it, especially stocks that historically, there's graphs and everything. It tells you how much a stock makes in a day, in a week, over the course of a month, 3 months, a year, 5 years. And if you pick the right stock, for instance, like Amazon, I know everybody can't afford Amazon, but there's lots of stocks like Amazon that's very cheap. I'm talking, $50, $100, and everything in between. So don't think you can't afford stock. You can buy a stock for $1. But the thing is, you want to buy a stock that's going to make money if it's a long-term investment. Something like Google, something like Tesla, those companies, they are going to make money. 5 years from now, they are still going to be making money. 2 years from now, they're still going to be making money. They're not going to go into the red. They're going to be slowly climbing. But you just have to have, I think one of the biggest things, you have to have patience. You have to see it as like a bank account that's going to grow. For instance, we're going to stick to Amazon. I know it's a lot of money, and like I said, there's stocks that's lower. You can get a $50 stock, and the same thing that I'm about to tell you applies to it. That stock is going to grow, but during the course of a year, it's going to go up a bit, it's going to go down a little bit, but you have to be patient and stick with it. That Amazon stock, for instance, it started off at $900 something last year. At one point, it probably went down to like $800 something. And a lot of people like, oh, I just lost $100, I better pull out. A lot of people pull it out, and you can always buy it again, but you just lost $100. But a lot of people see that loss and they just want to pull out. But if you stick with it during the ups and downs, like some people did, by the time it gets to the next year, guess what? Your money just doubled. And it's not always going to double, Sometimes you only making, say the stock started off at $50 at the beginning of the year. It might end up at, $70, but it's still a $20 profit. Say if you had 4 of those, say if you spent $200 to have 4 of those, guess what? 20 times 4, you got $80. So it adds up. Hopefully that's a good example, and it puts it in your mind to see how you can make money easily. Another way, that's long-term trading. So another way to trade or invest is day trading, which this is a little bit more complicated because they don't technically allow you to day trade a lot unless you have a $2,500 or $25,000 account, which a lot of people don't. But you can still day trade. They give you can do, I think, like 3-day trades within the 5-day period. Then it starts over. So it's still ways that you can make money at least 3 days out of the week. So what you do is you find a stock that's worth, say, $1. Then you buy, for instance, I'm going to give you guys another example. Find a stock that costs $1 and you buy 100 of them. So now you own 100 of those stock. and say that stock goes up by $1 at the end of the year, then guess what? You just made $100 just like that. Yeah, it took a year, but that's $100 more that you didn't have before, and that's just a small amount. If you invested $500 in that stock, guess what? You would have, and it went up $1. Guess what? You would have $500 at the end of the year, all for not for you didn't do anything. You know, there's no work involved. Yes, you have to be smart, especially with the lower cost stock, because you know, you can lose just the same way that you can make money. You can lose money too, but it's at very, very small increments. So you're not going to lose all of your money. The only way you can lose all of your money is if the stock market crash. And that's just, I mean, that's not going to happen. It happened once in history. I'm not saying that it's not, that it can't happen within the next, 10, 20 years, but the chances of that happen is very, very, very slim. I think that there's a lot of things that people would do before they would allow that to happen. A lot of things that rich and powerful people would do before they would allow that to happen. So there is no worry. Like, for instance, if you invested in a $500 stock, there's no worry about you losing your $500, because it's just not going to happen. The chances of that stock going down to zero is like almost none, within maybe over the course of 10 years, but in the course of like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, unless that company just bombs everywhere and it's just like, I don't know, it's just not going to happen. The chances of it happening is slim. It's like Amazon is worth, I think I seen today, Amazon is worth almost $1 trillion. $1 trillion. You can't even comprehend how much they're worth. It's just crazy. So the chances of Amazon going out of business in the next year is like I have a better chance of a plane landing on top of me right now while me doing this podcast. That's the chances of Amazon going out of business within the next I would say even 5, 10 years, 15 years. So that's why their stock is it's a safe investment, because it's going to keep going up. I'm not saying that it's going to double. It's very doubtful. It's not about to go to $3,000 within the next year. I mean, it's at a point now where they'll probably go up by maybe $20 a year, or maybe like $50 a year. But I could be wrong. It could go up by $100 a year. But that's why once you get into it, once you start understanding the stock market, you can analyze these things and learn what's a good investment and what stock you just want to stay away from. There's so many tools, there's so many graphs, and all of it is simple to learn. Like these people that's on Wall Street, most of them, they don't have an accounting degree. Like a lot of them, you don't have to have the most advanced degree or anything, because this isn't trigonometry, this isn't calculus. When it comes to this, it's basic addition, multiplication, division. I mean, this is simple stuff. And once you read more into it, and once you learn and you try it out, the better you'll get at it, and you'll see it's a great way to invest money and to make money. So I hope you guys take that to heart and check it out. It's the Robinhood app. And definitely use my invite code. I'm going to put the link in the description wherever I put this video, so it will help me out and it will help you out, because we would both get a free stock. I'm going to read it off, but at the same time I'm going to put it in the description. So mine is share.robinhood.com/Brando, so BRANDOH then 2952. So that's share.robinhood.com/Brando then H then 2952. So check it out. And I have to say this, I mean, I'm nobody, but I'm not being sponsored by Robinhood or anything. This isn't paid. I'm not being paid. I wish I was being paid, but this is me learning this through experience. And let me tell y'all a quick story, then we're going to end the podcast. It's already at 30 minutes, but if you got another minute, just listen for a second. So, how I discovered Robinhood and just got more into stock trading is I saw a video on YouTube, and it showed like the contrast between two people's life. There was this white kid. He was like, I don't know, maybe like 22, and that's what he do for a living. He does day trades for stock, and that's how he makes his money. That's what he does for a living. Obviously he has money already. I don't know, maybe he got it from his parents. I don't know. He's too young to make that type of money on his own, but I could be wrong. I mean, maybe he worked for it. I mean, he was young, but he wasn't that young. But that's beside the point. That's too much of my own opinion. But it was that guy. Then they showed the contrast of another guy, a black guy. He was like, probably like 28, whatever. He's doing food deliveries. They're just showing like their day and how much they make in a day. So the white kid, he made, like $10,000 doing the stock, and the black guy, he made like, I don't know, probably like $65, $70 during the day doing the food deliveries. Just showing the contrast in their life. If you watch the video, you'll see that the black guy, his life is actually a lot more interesting because it's not so money focused or whatever. The white kid, he literally sits there all day. I'm sure he does other things. I mean, I'm sure he don't do this literally every day, but during the trading time, like, he sits there and just like, monitors his computer like intensely and all of this. But it's interesting, what I'm saying? Like, not to mention the whole contrast between black and white, because it has nothing to do with that. But it was a wake-up call for me, because it showed me like there is ways to make money. There's ways that other people do it, that the rich people do it, that the white people do it. Not to make it about race, but like us as blacks, like we're not taught about this. We're not taught about the stock market and everything. And that's the whole point of this podcast, is to show you and teach you something new so we can, enter that world and be wealthy ourselves. But anyways, if you can find that video based off what I'm saying, I'm sure you can easily find it on YouTube. Check it out. And just want to thank you guys for listening. I know this is a long podcast, but hopefully it was very informative. But that's all I got for you guys. So until next time, live life, love life, and be humble.